New York in Stone and Steel, a story written upward. Before New York ever became a city of skyscrapers, before its skyline pierced clouds and reflected ambition in glass and steel, it was a low, muddy island where the future could not yet be imagined. And yet, hidden in the grain of its earliest wooden homes and brick streets was a quiet promise. This place would grow, and it would grow upward. New York's architectural history is not merely a record of buildings. It is the physical diary of a restless city, one shaped by immigrants, wealth, fear, innovation, disaster, and boundless ambition. Every structure, from a modest Dutch farmhouse to a soaring Art Deco tower, tells a story of who New Yorkers were, what they believed, and what they dared to dream. This is the story of how New York learned to build itself. Foundations: the Dutch and colonial beginnings, 1600s to 1700s. New York's architectural story begins not with grandeur, but with necessity. In 1624, Dutch settlers arrived at the southern tip of Manhattan and established New Amsterdam. Their buildings were practical and defensive, low wooden houses with steep gabled roofs, thick walls, and small windows to survive harsh winters and potential attacks. Architecture during this period borrowed heavily from European traditions, but adapted to local materials. Timber was abundant, stone less so. Buildings hugged the ground, emphasizing survival rather than status. Streets were narrow and irregular, following paths rather than plans. When the British took control in 1664 and renamed the settlement New York, architecture slowly evolved. Brick construction replaced wood to reduce fire risk. Georgian-style buildings appeared, characterized by symmetry, proportion, and restrained elegance. Trinity Church, first built in 1698, became an early architectural landmark, symbolizing the growing influence of religion and empire. Vertical ambition: the birth of the skyscraper, late 1800s. The late 19th century changed everything. Three forces collided: steel frame construction, elevators, and explosive population growth. Land in Manhattan became scarce and expensive. The solution was radical: build upward. Early skyscrapers were cautious experiments. Buildings like the Flatiron Building, 1902, shocked the public with their height and unusual forms. Though only 22 stories tall, the Flatiron embodied a new architectural language, one that celebrated verticality. Architects debated how tall buildings should look. Some borrowed from classical styles, stacking decorative layers upward. Others embraced the machine age. New York became a laboratory where architectural identity was constantly tested. The skyline began to rise. Grandeur and ornament: Beaux Arts New York, 1990s through 1920s. As wealth poured into New York, architecture became a display of power. The Beaux Arts style, imported from France, dominated public and institutional buildings. Characterized by symmetry, sculpture, grand staircases, and elaborate ornamentation, it transformed the city into a monumental stage. Landmarks like Grand Central Terminal, the New York Public Library, and the original Pennsylvania Station embodied civic pride and cultural ambition. These buildings were not just functional, they were statements. They told the world that New York was no longer a colonial city, but a global capital. Even private mansions along Fifth Avenue embraced grandeur. Architecture became theatrical, designed to impress and endure. The Jazz Age skyline: Art Deco and the race to the sky, 1920s through 1930s. No period defines New York's architectural identity more vividly than the Art Deco era. As technology advanced and regulations imposed setbacks on tall buildings, architects responded with dramatic forms. Skyscrapers became sculptural, rising in tiered silhouettes crowned with spires. The Chrysler Building, with its stainless steel crown and automotive motifs, celebrated speed and modernity. The Empire State Building, once the tallest in the world, symbolized resilience and ambition during the Great Depression. Art Deco embraced optimism, geometry, and machine-age elegance. It was architecture that believed in the future, even when the present was uncertain. The skyline became a symbol of hope.